Hi, this is Gilles, Radio Proper. You know, sometimes I receive stuff and I think, why did they send me that? And sometimes I go, this is interesting. This is one of these times. And I got the Retekess V115 FM and AM radio receiver, also for shortwave, so the HF band. And I think I haven't really emphasized enough the need to have some kind of a receiver for prepping. Not everyone wants to have a ham radio or a CB radio, something that has the capability of transmitting. But you do need a receiver. You absolutely do need a receiver. So this is a very basic radio, AM, FM, no SSB, no CW. So it's really basic. It's basically to get the news and know what's going on around you from broadcast stations, and that is still important. It's also a very cheap radio. So very light, doesn't take any weight in your bug-out bag, and this can really be useful for just getting information, basically. Not from amateur radio operators, although some of them still use AM, so you would be able to listen to them. It does have interesting features such as an SD card reader, and of course it's to record stuff from the radio, which is excellent. It has an earphone plug. It has a line-in, which is also very interesting because you could use this as a recorder for another radio. And it has a USB charging port, and I really like that, and the fact that it uses an old standard cell phone battery, which you can find pretty much anywhere. The one thing it's missing, beside the fact that it doesn't have SSB or CW mode, that's for higher end radios, is that it doesn't have an antenna plug. But that doesn't really matter because there is an antenna here, telescopic antenna, and you just can clip a wire, attach a wire to it, and that you're good to go. And you can play MP3 files on this, which for morale is pretty good. It even has a little bass speaker here. It does have 5 kilohertz steps, just like my Yaesu VX6, and I don't know why they do that. 1 kilohertz would be great, but 5 is too much. It does have different HF bands, 60 meters, 4.750 megahertz. That's the starting frequency. I wish they had included the 80 meter band, 3.5 megahertz. That's too bad. 49 meters, 5.950 megahertz. 41 meters, 7.1 megahertz. 31 meters, 9.5 megahertz. 25 meters, 11.65 megahertz. 22 meters, 13.6 megahertz. 19 meters, 15.1 megahertz, and 16 meters, 17.5, and 13 meters, 21.45. So it's frequency ranges that are not into necessarily ham radio allocations, but it's more for broadcasting, basically receiving AM stations around the world. The good thing is I am able to tune below the frequencies I mentioned here, so it's not really limited to those ranges, it seems. Unfortunately, it doesn't go below 4.75. The shortwave mode doesn't say it's AM, but I'm supposing it's AM because I heard some people talking, but I could not understand what they said. DSB would have been great. The sound in FM is pretty damn good. For shortwave, I'm going to have to test this with a long wire, a very long wire, basically to receive anything, because this antenna, of course, is just for FM. You're not going to receive, shortwave broadcast with something that short. And I don't think there is a ferrite antenna inside here. I have an antenna here that I'm using for 6 meters FM, so amateur radio, on a mast, and I'm going to use that for the receiver, see if I can receive some good stations, because of course you do need to use a long wire for receiving broadcast radio stations. And it works! I'm going to touch the antenna here, the connector, to And immediately it gets better.
Ekonomik ve toplumsal gelişme arasında sağladığı eşgüdüm ve dengenin daha da sağlamlaşmasını gösteriyor. Bu durum yol geneli için dış ticaretin istikrarlı gelişmesine de olumlu bir zemin hazırlıyor.
Nous attendons déjà avec impatience la prochaine édition du Festival de film français en Roumanie.
À vélo.
Dans Radio Tour sur Radio Roumanie Internationale.
Romania is coming in pretty strong, that's pretty far. In French, no less. So there you have it, the Retekess V115, and I'm probably going to use it for listening to FM while camping, at home also probably. But it's good to know that you can receive actually AM broadcast. So nifty little radio, pretty light, USB powered. I like it. Have a good one.